this video, we're gonna talk about the best things that you should do in Lima, the capital of Peru. When planning a trip to any part of Peru, Lima, the capital, is your first contact with Peruvian culture and lifestyle. It's colorful and rich, full of friendly locals and amazing restaurants. Lima is often called a top destination for foodies, and indeed it did not disappoint. But what amazed me the most about Lima is that it is a complex destination that offers so much, and it's suitable to any kind of traveler. The internet made me believe Lima was a dangerous place, but after spending more than 2 weeks there and following advice from locals, I can definitely say that Lima is my favorite city in South America. It has it all: culture, lifestyle, history, and modern amenities. As a foreigner, the places that you visit in Lima are much safer and more relaxed than a lot of other places in this world. I feel like Lima is an undiscovered gem of Latin America and definitely a top destination for digital nomads. After visiting over 60 countries from all over the world, I can confidently say that Peruvians are some of the friendliest and kindest people on earth. Now, let's talk about the best things you can do in Lima, the capital of Peru. Of course, there are so many other activities that can be included on this list. So if you're a local or have been to Peru, please share your tips and suggestions in the comments. So, let's begin. One of the first things to do in Lima, the capital of Peru, is to explore Lima's historical center. I visited Lima's historical center with a free walking tour that started in Miraflores. When you first get to Lima, you might hear or read about how certain parts of Lima are dangerous. In my case, that made me want to stick around Miraflores and not go out that area too much. But after almost 2 weeks in Lima, I became more curious about the place and was happy to discover the tourist information in Miraflores, which organizes daily tours in different parts of Lima, including this tour of Lima's historical center. The best part is that you get to experience public transport in Lima, because that's how the group gets from Miraflores to Lima's downtown, and then you get to explore the most important parts of the historical center. After going on that tour, I can say that the center of Lima is very safe, or at least that's how it felt for me, and it has so much to offer that you shouldn't skip it if you're on a trip in Lima. During the tour, I learned about how Lima was founded and how Peru gained its independence. Then you pass by so many of the most important buildings in the capital of Peru, such as Lima's cathedral. The building itself is a blend of architectural styles and stands as a testament to Lima's colonial past. The cathedral is located in the most important square in all of Lima, Plaza Mayor, or Plaza de Armas. An unexpected visit in Lima's historical center was at San Francisco Church and Monastery, the place where you'll find the famous catacombs, which are located underneath the monastery. Although this place isn't included in a free walking tour, I highly recommend that you visit it after the tour is over. After the tour, I suggest you relax a bit and do some shopping on the famous pedestrian street Jirón de la Unión, which connects Plaza Mayor to Plaza San Martín. These are two famous squares in Lima. Lima is famous for its shopping opportunities, but we'll get to that later. And if you want to eat, stop at the local restaurant or head over to Chinatown, which is only a few steps away, to learn more about the fusion between the Peruvian and Chinese cuisine. The Larco Museum is one of the most popular spots to visit in Lima because of the wonderful building that hosts the museum and the extensive collection of the museum. Here you can learn about the pre-Columbian civilizations that live in today's Peru territory, as well as customs and aspects of their daily lives. Given that there isn't much writing about it, most exhibits are actually ancient artifacts that depict their lives. After you finish visiting the museum, I highly recommend that you check out the restaurant in the garden, as they offer an exquisite experience. It's a restaurant that is more fancy and has a higher price, but I believe that it is worth the experience. It's a perfect spot to relax on a sunny afternoon, enjoy a pisco sour, taste the famous lucuma mousse dessert. Another top thing to do in Lima is to stroll along the Miraflores boardwalk. Since I talked so much in my past videos about Miraflores, the top place to stay if you're a tourist in Lima, and how much it fascinated me, this is for sure one of the top things to do in Lima and in Miraflores, to walk on the famous boardwalk and admire the magnificent coastline views for which Lima is so famous. The views, as I said, are extraordinary, and it gets really busy at sunset. Even locals love it, and I can totally understand why. The area is super safe. Even after sunset, there's a ton of police patrolling around, and you don't have to be afraid to explore all you want, take photos, and enjoy yourself. Have a snack, go read a book, run around, play with dogs, I don't know. There are so many things to do around. A popular spot on the boardwalk is the Love Park, El Parque del Amor, which reminds me of the famous Güell Park in Barcelona. And if adventure is what you're seeking, consider going paragliding over the magnificent coast of Lima. It's a popular thing to do around here, and if the weather allows it, the views are worth the adrenaline. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention the famous Larco shopping mall, located right on the coastline, which has the most beautiful views at sunset when it gets really packed. Now it's time to indulge in Peruvian cuisine. It's no secret that Peruvians are absolutely obsessed with becoming the best cooks in the world. It all starts with the world-famous ceviche, which is marinated raw fish with spices. It has a taste that you won't ever forget, and most likely love enough to have it at least every 2 meals while in Peru. The vast majority of Peruvian staple dishes are meat-based, and while I don't personally eat meat, there seem to be a vast array of restaurants that suit any kind of budget and taste. As for vegetarians and vegans, don't worry, you will find plenty of options. In Miraflores, I found many vegan restaurants, and some even offer vegan alternatives to the popular Peruvian dishes. I ate in many different places and restaurants in Peru, from very affordable locations to more posh ones, and every time the food was amazing. I cannot remember a single occasion when the food was bad in Peru, because it never was. In the end, I spent more than 3 weeks in Peru and never starved. Quite the contrary. One thing to keep in mind if you're traveling on a budget is that a lot of restaurants will offer a set lunch menu, which is often more affordable than the a la carte dishes from their menus. For instance, during my stay in Miraflores, I ate at a very nice vegan restaurant during lunchtime, and it was just about $5 per menu with dessert and a drink included. It's also worth mentioning that the more traditional restaurants are often open only for lunch, something like from 12 p.m. to 4 or 5 p.m. You'll soon see that food is a big thing in Peru, and Lima is often regarded as the world capital of food, or at least somewhere in the top 3 culinary destinations in the world. So if you're a foodie, then I cannot think of a better place to recommend you visit other than Peru. I also love the fruit in Peru. If you want to see more of the common fruit that you're going to find in Peru, I have a different video in which I taste the fruit of Peru, so go and give that a watch. And by the way, don't forget to try at least once eating at a famous chifa restaurant, which are more than just a place to eat. They are a restaurant and a testament to Lima's multicultural identity. These chifa restaurants are the result of the unique fusion between the Chinese and Peruvian cuisines. The word chifa comes from the Cantonese phrase chi fan, which means to eat rice. The origin of chifa cuisine dates back to the late 19th and early 20th century, when Chinese immigrants arrived in Peru, and they also brought their culinary traditions with them and created this one-of-a-kind experience in Lima. Even the interior of these restaurants are a mix between the two cultures, so don't miss it. And don't worry, you do not need to search for them. Chifa restaurants are everywhere in Lima. Shopping in Lima. Well, if you do not know already, Lima is a very popular shopping destination. If you're traveling through South America and you want to update your wardrobe, then Lima is the place to go shopping. You'll find shops and shopping malls in a lot of places, scattered all around Lima. If you're staying in the modern districts such as Miraflores or Barranco, then you will most definitely find shops without searching too much. Most shopping malls will offer international brands such as Patagonia or Zara and others, but did you know that some of the cheapest Levi's you can buy are in Peru? Because I did not quite understand the magnitude of this shopping experience in Lima, I was shocked when I first discovered all the shopping malls located in Miraflores. Just around Kennedy Park, you will find 3 different shopping malls, and besides those, the entire area is basically surrounded by shops. So if you're staying in Miraflores, you will not be disappointed. During my stay there, Kennedy Park was used for fairs almost daily that showcased all sorts of handmade crafts, food, and clothes. So if you want for souvenirs, another place to go for traditional Peruvian items is the Inca Market, which is around 10 minutes on foot away from Kennedy Park. I also have to mention that in all these places I met lovely and friendly locals who almost always had the time to chat with me, help me practice my Spanish, and give me good travel advice. In the historical center of Lima, you have to check out the Jirón de la Unión street, which is the place for both locals and tourists to go shopping. I already mentioned this, but it's worth mentioning specifically if shopping is something you care about in Lima. As I was exploring Miraflores on foot, I noticed this random archaeological site right in the middle of the city. I did not know what to make of it when I first saw it, but then I checked it on Google Maps, and it turns out that this is one of the most popular archaeological sites in Lima, the Huaca Pucllana site. It's a huge clay pyramid that stands testimony to the pre-Inca civilizations that inhabited the territory of today's Lima. The pyramid can only be visited with the official guided tour offered by the museum, which takes about 1 hour. There are also a few tours in English per day, so you should check the schedule to make sure you make it there on time. If not, you can join the Spanish guided tour, which starts every hour. I wasn't sure what to expect from this place, but I left with a deeper understanding of the Peruvian civilizations and the daily lives of those who once lived here. The last part of the tour included a short walk through the museum's small outside garden that hosts typical animals and plants of Peru. The kids liked this part the most, as we learned the differences between the llamas and alpacas and saw a lucuma tree with fruits. If you have the time to do something more adventurous in Lima, then I recommend this half-a-day boat trip in the Pacific Ocean, where you can go swimming with sea lions. Don't worry, the trip starts from Lima and you do not have to spend hours in a bus to reach your destination. That's why I believe this is one of the top attractions in Lima, and truly it's one of the must-see things in the capital of Peru. I wrote all about this activity on my blog and have a separate video about the Palomino Island experience in Lima. So if you want to go swimming with sea lions, I highly recommend watching that video first so you know what to expect. The experience starts from La Punta district in Lima, and you can easily reach it by Uber, no matter where you are in Lima. I do recommend this to almost everybody, but I do not recommend it if you usually experience seasickness. In my personal experience, I think you should be okay. However, my boyfriend did get seasick during the experience, so that's why, once more, go watch the video so you know what to expect. And now, after you experienced all the things to do in Lima, you can finally go on a day trip from Lima. You see, Peru is a huge place and it feels like it offers endless experiences and trips. And once you're there, you will understand why it is so hard to choose only a few experiences. And you will need to craft your personal list of must-see places in Lima and around, because it's simply too much to do and see in Peru in general. With that being said, one of the most popular day trips from Lima is the trip to Paracas and Huacachina Oasis. I went on this day trip from Lima and it was so worth it. I also noticed that a lot of foreigners, even if they only spend a few days in Lima, usually before flying to Cusco, inevitably book this tour. I guess it's because Huacachina Desert Oasis has gained massive popularity over the past few years on the internet, and that is primarily due to social media. I certainly remember the first time I saw that drone photo from Huacachina, where an influencer was up the sand dune at sunset overlooking the seamlessly endless desert, and the oasis seemed like the last drop of civilization in a sea of infinite sand. It's truly a remarkable sight that turned Huacachina into this massive attraction in Peru. There is so much more to be said and explained about this Huacachina destination, so that's why I have made a dedicated video about the trip to Paracas and Huacachina Oasis, and I recommend that you go and check that out so you know exactly what this day trip is all about. How far is Lima from the beach? Well, you can actually walk to the beach, as Lima is a coastal city and there are plenty of beaches that stretch along the coast. What struck me on the first day I spent in Lima was the gorgeous coastline. And this part of Lima, especially the boardwalk that I mentioned earlier in Miraflores, is called Costa Verde, the coastline that stretches for kilometers on end and offers plenty of popular spots for relaxation, including beaches, boardwalks, and even beaches for surfing. By the way, don't let the infamous Garua in Lima scare you. The coastline of Lima somehow experiences a natural event due to the Humboldt current that comes all the way from Antarctica. What that means is that when the cold front meets the warm air that covers the land, you're gonna get this cloudy effect. But that's not gonna affect your trip to Lima. It's just something that will appear peculiar at first, and then you'll get used to it. It doesn't happen every day or every month, but it happened when I visited during March 2024, and it's really awkward at first when you notice really low clouds that cover the top of the buildings in the city. To experience the beach in Lima, you simply need to walk on the beach, sit on a towel and soak in the sun, if there is a sunny day outside. But you're gonna feel the sun either way. Even if Garua makes an appearance, you're gonna get a tan. From my personal experience, the beaches in Miraflores are artificially built, as the city is located on this small cliff, and then there are walkways built in order for you to walk and access the beach as a pedestrian. The beaches are okay, but most of them have huge pebbles, and it's kind of painful to walk barefoot on them. When I visited Lima in March 2024, I noticed that a bit north of Miraflores, the coast was being set up by the municipality, and they were bringing in fine sand to put on the beach. So you should check that out. So I guess that along the coastline, wherever you go, you'll find different attractions on the beach. Luckily, the municipality realized that the beaches in Lima are a huge asset and attraction, and it's actively working to improve them. However, as I mentioned, the beaches in Lima aren't great, so if you want to spend a day at the nicer sand beach, then locals recommend some places like Punta Hermosa Beach, which is in the south of Lima, about 40 kilometers, 1 hour drive from Miraflores, Ancon Beach, 55 kilometers north of Lima, which is about 1 hour and a half drive from Miraflores, and then you have Punta Rocas Beach, which is 40 kilometers away from Miraflores. It's a surfer's beach. While I did not have much time to explore, I believe that the best beaches in Peru are located in the south of the country. So if you decide, for instance, to go on a day trip to Paracas, you'll notice how the coastline changes over there, and there are much beautiful sandy beaches with breathtaking cliff backgrounds. So if you're looking to explore the best beaches of Peru, then probably the best option would be to rent a car and explore those places in the south at your own pace. And this was my list of best things to do in Lima. If you have more suggestions, because there are so many other activities that are worth the mention and I did not mention them in this video, then please leave a comment and help the people that are planning a trip to Lima, the capital of Peru, add more activities to their itinerary. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in my next video.